Stay tuned for the biggest fish, the hottest bites, this week here on In-Depth Outdoors. With James Holst and Pat McSherry and the rest of the IDO fishing team. We're headed to the best fisheries across the upper Midwest and Canada. We'll fish longer, explore unfished bodies of water, and go further off the beaten path in search of the hottest bites in fresh water.
Look at that fish.
This is In-Depth Outdoors.
I'm James Holst. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of In-Depth Outdoors. Now, last week we were out in North Dakota fishing a small prairie pothole lake that was just starting to warm up enough to where we could consider the fishing we were doing to coincide with that pre-spawn period. Now, fast forward a week, we're in Wisconsin out on Green Bay, and after a run of unseasonably warm weather, we've missed the spawn out here. Every fish that we're gonna come across is gonna be post-spawn. That just goes to show the power of Mother Nature. Give her a couple warm days and the fish will take care of business. So stick around, I think you're gonna enjoy today's show. It's me and PJ Vick on a tributary to Green Bay, catching nothing but big post-spawn walleyes today on In-Depth Outdoors. Let me guess, we're just gonna go across the river.
Right there.
All right, I can do that, save on gas. So we're gonna burn our nickel's worth of gas and get going, eh?
Right on. Got
Sounds about right.
About 75 yards to go.
And there are fish all over the mega.
Yeah.
I mean, just sick.
Yeah.
Fish.
There you got him. It's a better one.
I like everything about this fish so far.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's a big swirly out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's a good fish.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
You may want to go back, PJ. Scoop him.
Gotcha.
Nice. Well, that'll give you an idea where the spawn's at. We will likely catch pre and post-spawn fish today. That's obviously a post-spawn female, and boy has their shape changed in the last few hours. They went from footballs to missiles. See you later, fish. Fish in a 1/4 ounce VMC Moon Eye jig, and then a pulsar, orange chartreuse. There we go. That's got that paddle tail on there. What we're doing is we're throwing out that jig in the bottom and just giving it short snaps. Jig goes up off the bottom, kind of give your reel a half a turn, half a retrieve, hits bottom, snap it again. Basically that is river walleye candy right there. Like I said, the jig bright, flashy. Water's low this year. Clarity is really good, but still those bright colors will work a lot better for you than real natural patterns. Thank you, PJ.
You're welcome. There's one. Ooh, thumped it.
We got a taker?
Yeah, it's a taker.
It's gonna be all right.
I just upsized the size of my jig to a 3/8 ounce.
So you can get a better pop?
Better pop, a little sharper, faster. You know, get that reaction strike.
Well, that wind coming across your line, like you mentioned, it
Yeah.
throws a little bit of a curveball at you.
I agree. I think it's a nice one, eh?
I got a feeling we can leave this extended quite a bit today.
That is a dandy.
You're a big fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at that big headed
Yeah, there we go. Not bad at all. First fish of the day.
Good morning.
Hey.
She's built for speed.
Hooked real nice. I'm using that 3/8 ounce Moon Eye jig with the 3 1/4 inch Chartreuse Orange Core Pulsar. That fish got all of that. There we go. That is a nice fish. Definitely skinny,
Heck
but
yeah.
a long fish. I expect to see a bunch more just like it today.
Big heads,
Yep. Yep.
thin
Nice.
through the hip.
Back. Oh. Off you go, girl. Cool.
Well, that should convince her to get her hind parts back down to the lake.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's definitely what we got here. We're in the river. Most of the fish are flushing out back to the lake. There is some fish on the uprun yet. We're targeting the shoreline of the river, and just up inside, there's like a shallow shelf, and it kind of breaks down 2 to 3 feet. A lot of the fish have been sitting right along that break, just kind of filing back down to the lake. Some of them hanging around, but that seems to be the location the majority of these fish are hanging. So we're just pitching up to the shoreline, snap jigging it back to the boat.
Rain, boat spray, wind, and if you're unlucky enough, even snow. When your drive to work is a highway of water, you need outerwear that you can count on day after day, week after week, year after year. The Rapala Rain Pro and the Rapala Rain Jacket and bibs are exceptionally crafted using premium materials and fitted for comfort. With the right gear, you can weather the storm, backed by a legendary name you can trust.
At Eskimo, we have the tools to help you enjoy your time on the ice. They say man needs food, clothing, and shelter. When it comes to shelter, we like the Outbreak 450i with its full-size no-trip door that's nearly 74% bigger than a standard door, making it much easier to load and unload. With 75 square feet of fishable area, you'll be warm and comfortable during your day on the ice. Check out the Outbreak 450i and our full line of products at GetEskimo.com.
From the first time you pick up a tuned-up custom rod, you'll know you're holding something special. A rod not mass-produced, but built one at a time by the hands of gifted craftsmen. Rods like the Precision, ice fishing's most versatile multi-species rod, or the Precision Noodle with a tip so sensitive you'll never fish a spring bobber again. And the Commander, the rod that's never met a big fish it couldn't best. Tuned-up custom rods. Ice rods handcrafted for you and the way you fish.
Having a hard time finding the gear you need to get your boat ready for spring? At Reed Sports, we have a huge inventory of Humminbird, Garmin, and Lowrance electronics, including the Garmin LiveScope All-Season Bundle with a $200 rebate. We have the largest inventory in the Midwest, but act now. It won't last long. Give us a call at 800-346-0019 or find everything for your boat at reedsports.com, where we offer the best service, best price, best advice, guaranteed.
Oh, there's one.
Hey,
He's angry.
can't eat
Don't
a
blame
net.
him. I got him by the lip. I wouldn't be happy about it either. Yeah, I think the little bit smaller plastic is the way to go.
Right on.
That's a nice fish.
That's a nice fish, yeah. I'll get it for you.
I'll take an assist. TJ Vick for the assist. Here we go.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. Very nice.
Let me grab that bugger off your hand.
Yep.
Boy, there was no doubt about that.
No, that bait is gone.
Gotta thank this fish for getting it spawned on. I would imagine here in the next day, this fish will be out in the lake again, chasing down shad or whatever its preferred meal is. Boy, that fish has got that thing in there deep. Not in the gills, mind you, just back there. All right. So, you know, a lot of time guys talk about just the post-spawn bite being tough, right? Walleye spawn and then they stop eating. And in my opinion, nothing's further from the truth. What ends up happening is, you know, people have a pretty good idea where the walleye spawn, right? They'll go up a river, they'll get below a rapids, that's where they'll spawn. But they don't linger. You know, the males will stick around. But these big females, they drop eggs upstream of here, and essentially when they're done spawning, they are just right back to the main lake. There's not nearly the food up in one of these small rivers to support, you know, a huge population of walleyes for a long time. So once they're done spawning, they are back to the lake, and that's kind of how you get that perception from some that, you know, when the walleyes get done spawning, they just stop eating. Well, they just disappear. You can't catch what isn't there. So, you know, keep that in mind. What we're fishing here are fish that are kind of just dropping back and funneling back to the lake. These fish that are here today will not be here tomorrow, but they'll be replaced by a new batch of fish flushing through. There we go. Get him. Got him. Nice. Ooh,
Nice one too. Yeah.
That's a stud.
That is
Go
a
back
big
to the
one.
chartreuse orange core.
I did. Right back to the paddle tail. The snap jigging with the heavier jig.
Did he munch it up pretty good?
It was the bottom crush.
That's a good fish.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna go deep for that
All
one.
right. Good man. That is a big one.
Long one.
All right. Come here, buddy. I was messing around with some finesse tactics there as they got a little grumpy midday, but I went right back to what I started with this morning, which is that 1/4 ounce BMC Moon Eye jig with the paddle tail pulsar on it. And that one thumped it. Beautiful fish.
To heck with that finesse stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Get aggressive.
If they're not gonna cooperate, just make some noise.
Yeah.
Get them excited.
Yep, absolutely. Not too far off the boat, kind of right where we're seeing them on the mega imaging, which is right at the base of this break, about 15 feet to the right of our boat here. Got there and whap. All right, come on, bud. Up you go. All right.
We got to midday here. Things slowed down. Water clarity's a lot better than it would be most years, so we had to take off those bright and flashies and go to something a little bit
real
more subtle.
natural.
And look at where that jig
That's
is.
just chomped. All right.
Nice. Let me bring that bugger up here. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Oh man, that's just a super nice fish there. My longest of the day for sure. Gonna fire her back. See you bye.
Available in 6 technique-specific models. The new Custom Series spinning rods from Okuma offer tournament-grade performance at a price all anglers can afford. Built on SCT blank technology featuring a dual helix carbon fiber wrap, Deadeye Custom Series rods offer an ultra-responsive blank that will handle the biggest walleye on your favorite bodies of water. Find the Deadeye Custom Series at your favorite sporting goods store today and see for yourself why Okuma is inspired fishing.
Does your sonar offer dual spectrum chirp, producing razor-sharp images on an ultra-bright HD display? The ability to tailor the display to the way you fish. Precision GPS functionality with legendary Lake Master mapping to move effortlessly from ice to open water. If not, you should be fishing an Ice Helix, the electronic system that offers all the features and performance successful ice anglers demand. Only from Humminbird.
Introducing Suffix Advanced Fluorocarbon. A new level of suppleness. A new level of toughness. A new level of sensitivity. A new category of fluorocarbon. Hello, future.
There you go. Ooh, nice fish.
Well, I could count the number of feet off the rod tip right now, and that's how far out it was. I haven't turned the handle yet. That's a good
I got
fish.
you. That was just on that slow drag, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got
Yep.
that hot skirt jig on.
Yep. Yeah. Beautiful fish, bud. There we
Thank
go.
you very much. Appreciate
Welcome.
the assist. There you. And a bait that we used last week out in North Dakota is still in the boat. I had some of these hot skirt jigs sitting around. Put that thing on there with a minnow, and that fish just crushed it. Of course, you really feel it when you only have 15 feet of line out. Dandy, long fish. I bet you she's making a land speed record headed for the lake. With this low flow and these warmer temperatures, these fish are not going to spend a lot of time up here in the river. But while they're here, they're hungry, they're willing to eat. You got
That
him.
one smoked it.
What did you end up going to this time?
It's the jig and the minnow, but I just went with a slow drag and the little pops on the bottom, never really lifting it off the bottom.
Making it simply irresistible.
Yes,
You need
second
a-
hit.
You gonna need a net on that one?
Yes, I am. Oh yeah. Very nice, bud.
God,
Very
such an
nice.
awesome fish. I'm doing this with one hand here, bud.
Awesome. That is probably my biggest one of the day, I would say.
Certainly the longer.
Yeah. Beautiful fish. Yeah, so that's just a 1/4 ounce moon eye with the dead hooked minnow that I always talk about. So probably about 27, 28 incher. You can tell post-spawn female. But
That jig is just gone.
yeah, just gone. But slow drag across the bottom, couple little twitches, a pause in between. That one pelted it right off the bottom. Excellent.
Well, she's definitely got some weight to pack back on. Right at the side of the boat, PJ.
Oh, that looks
It's
like a
big
good one.
Yep. Big head slings. That is just painfully slow.
Just slow dragging.
I'm just not wired that way, bud. I mean, obviously, if I have to, I can figure it out.
Right.
But, ugh.
We definitely made the right move there, sneaking over though.
Yeah, that's the nuance of the whole deal, right?
Yep.
Come on, fish.
Come on,
Feels
big
like it's
girl.
got
I
some
bet you
shoulders.
it's gonna be a good one. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a really good one. Oh, baby.
About 2.5 pounds light from where she had been about 2 days ago.
And one thing you can say, we put some quality fish in the boat today.
Other than that tiny little perch I caught, they've all been big.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, all these females are dropping back from where they spawn.
Yep.
The males aren't here, so you don't catch anything small.
Absolutely.
There's that. Oh, what a great fish. Would have been awesome 2 or 3 days ago.
That would have been a fatty.
I'm still a big fan. All right, back she goes.
Oh, another one right here. There we go.
PJ's got one too. Double. Go.
Definitely a happy
You want me to come back
fish.
there, or are we good?
Yeah, I think you might have to.
All right.
It's gonna come up behind the
I
boat,
won't
it
do the
looks like.
one-handed thing on you again.
Oof. Got the big head shakes going on. There we go.
Go. Here, I'll try not to put that right on your lap. Got her?
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah. So what James and I did, we were actually watching this mega imaging, and we had about a 15-foot wide path of walleyes that are right at the base of this break that we're following right along that break line. So we slid right over on it, spot locked, and casted right down on them, and 2 fish back to back. That
It was pretty immediate.
yeah, proof is in the pudding there. I'll get that one back. Off we go. Excellent.
These fish, at this time of year, under these conditions, are typically rage monsters, just super aggressive. You know, the big plastics, the rip and wraps, we just crush. For whatever reason today, they want minnows in the last half of the day, or the second half of the day, I should say. It's been minnows, it's been fishing them real slow. Don't know why. I guess the important part is just always come with a couple scoops of minnows, and when when the bite forces you to make the change, you can do it.
Right. Yeah, adapt and still catch some fish. That's the important part.
Brandel GM in Aiken, Minnesota's only haggle-free Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer, is a proud sponsor of In-Depth Outdoors TV. Our Brandel value price ensures that you don't have to spend your entire day haggling to get a great deal. And every new vehicle comes with our exclusive gimmick-free lifetime powertrain warranty. Whether you're in need of service, sales, parts, or body shop repair, stop by our state-of-the-art facility in Aiken or visit us 24/7 at brandelgm.com.
Glacial Lakes Dock is now Glacial Lakes Recreation. Located in Starbuck, Minnesota, we offer the same great location, staff, and service with a new name to better fit our ever-expanding business. As an authorized dealer and service center for Yeti and now Alumilite ice houses, we have you covered if you're looking for a new house or just need a little service. Stop in today or check us out online at glaciallakesrec.com and make this ice season your most enjoyable and comfortable ever.
Got him?
Boy, I don't know. I got him on a jig, an old school paddle tail here.
Right on. Nice fish.
Yeah, ain't bad. Bloop. Boom. There you go. Spawner. Settle down, settle down. I promise to be quite gentle. Yeah, just looking through the old plastics, digging for some options, and well, that's just an old school paddle tail there. I think it's like 3 1/4 inches long. The fish are just not super fired up right now, which is fine. We'll figure it out. There's always a combination you can dial in that puts fish in the boat, but typically we like to fish a lot more aggressive than that this time of year. Yeah, I went super finesse here. That's just an 1/8 ounce moon eye, which, you know, the flow and the water levels are so low this year that, you know, you can get by with jigs that normally would just be impossible to fish. I mean, previous years, PJ said that you need like a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce jig to fish this particular stretch. This year, everything's a little bit different, so we're making some adjustments, real obvious ones. So not a lot of brain power went into that one, but you can just look around and see that this river is not ripping by any means. And to kind of slow the fall rate of this jig even further, I'm fishing mono. Suffix has got a really good high vis mono that I like. It's the Suffix Advance 6-pound line, super strong.
You got him?
Yes, sir, I do. I still had sweep and bow and bend in that line. Whew. Took me a bit to catch back up to that one. So, Suffix Advance 6-pound, good line. Complete the thought. God, this is going to be a little bit heavier fish, I think.
Is it bigger?
Gotcha. Nice. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
That was nice. Back to backer.
Right? And you know, at the end of the day, I didn't have to worry about where that jig was placed. It just woofed it right up. Get that line out of there, get that jig out of there. Pop. Like that little paddle tail's working some magic right now. But just super good fish. One thing you probably noticed so far, I'll get this fish back real quick, is that we're not catching any males. So what you need to take away from that is we're not fishing near where the fish are spawning. These are all drop back females. So the males are further upstream, shallower water, faster current, and more rock. And all these females are the fish that are done spawning. They're dropping back and heading back towards Green Bay. So it's just a great intercept point, but comes to no surprise that there's no males here. All the males are still upstream, waiting for those last few females to come up that are still full of eggs. All right, I'm not going to hold my breath on 3 in a row, but if it happens, I'll take it.
Fish.
Yeah, boy.
Good one. Really good one. Looks like a nice big post-spawn mama.
Every one of them has been 20 plus.
Yeah, this one's much bigger than that. I just seen it again. That is a nice
I got
fish.
a good look at it too. It's a way upper 20s.
Yeah, yep. Or bigger.
Yep.
Oh,
that
boy.
is a beast.
That's a beast.
That's a 30.
Yes, it is.
Anyway.
All right. That's what we're talking about right there. That one's actually got some shoulders on it yet.
It doesn't look like it's fully spawned out.
No. That is a dandy. Holy cow. All right. I'm going to let that big girl back. Looks like she's got some spawning yet to do.
I think she does.
Yeah. So we'll get her back in the water. Just a gorgeous fish.
If she doesn't, she was something crazy about 2 days ago.
Right. Oh, yeah. Off you go, girl.
Goodbye. Good work, bud.
Excellent. Excellent fish.
So that brings us to the end of today's show. And let me tell you, I've been doing walleye fishing for a long time, and I have never seen a spawn start and finish so quickly, which just goes to show you that even with all the experience we have, when it comes to timing a bite like this, Mother Nature's really in charge, and that calendar, although it's a great guide, really at the end of the day, it's almost meaningless. What we thought was going to be a tremendous pre-spawn bite ended up being an exclusively post-spawn bite. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Next week, we're going to broaden our horizons a little bit with the pre-spawn period behind us for the walleye. We're going to branch out a little bit and see if we can't find a great bite on another species. So we'll see you next time here on In-Depth Outdoors.
For more info on the latest fish reports, gear recommendations, and hottest techniques, connect with us online at indepthoutdoors.com or follow us on Facebook at In Depth Outdoors. And if you enjoyed today's show, be sure to let our sponsors know.